So I wanted to show you something here. See this little square here? I was kind of confused on what that was. I felt it, and it felt like it was like a little bit of rubbery. Well, it's not a drain plug. What that actually is it's a magnet. And whenever you have metal filings and stuff like that, you'll have it floating around in oil. Well, that creates just a little magnetic field for all the particles to be attached to. So that'd be the first thing you want to check whenever you take this off, is that little magnet, see if you have any larger particles in your differential. But mine was pretty clean, like so. Just the sludge was on there, nothing too crazy. Yeah, it's pretty cleaned out. We'll get this gasket edge cleaned up there and on the actual cover, and then we'll get it mounted back into position.
I'm just gonna take my razor blade scraper, scrape off all this old sealant. It's on there pretty loose. Here's my oil. I'll do this real quick for you guys. But the oil is a good color. It's not, should be able to see. It's not dark, it's not burnt, so there's no overheating, anything like that. It just doesn't have a great smell to it. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be. I'm gonna crack open one of these other ones, but yeah. So we'll put the time lapse back on. I'll clean off this this cover here, and we'll get on it. Got my acetone, wiped down all of this mating surface. Had to pick up another tube just in case, and a new tip. No big deal. Pretty straightforward on this. We're gonna put a bead of gasket around it, and then we'll take it, kind of smooth it out with our finger a little bit, not squishing it all the way down, and then insert it onto the actual ball. We want it in this orientation, the drain plug on the right, facing the back of the truck. I'm going to cut this, and then we'll get started on sealing this up, put it on time lapse. Alright, you can see that I got a good bead all the way going across there. There's a nice smooth surface on here, so the same thing with down there at the actual differential. It's a nice smooth surface, so what I'm going to do is kind of level this out a little bit without squishing it all the way down. I don't want to go too far out, but I also don't want to squeeze out on the inside here to get into the gears. So, and then I've got my screws ready in a bucket, and my sockets are also ready as well. So we'll get down there and we'll temp install it as per the directions, let it set for an hour, and then we'll torque everything down to 30 inch-pounds after that. All right, there we go. Nothing too fancy, but we'll get it on there, kind of smeared around. Tip for you guys is just shed a glove, put another one on, or what I also like doing is, I can't do it with these gloves because they're like double layered gloves supposedly, but I like having two sets of gloves on. So single layer gloves, I put two of those on and then go from there. So cool, let's get underneath the truck, get this put on. I already did this once, but one thing to think about, guys, is you need to make sure this surface is really clear of oil. But just in that short amount of time, I had some more come out. So I've got my brake cleaner, my shop towel, and I'm just going to hit this up real quick. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stab this top on here to find one of the nuts in the big drip pan I got. You get the picture here. You get it torqued down the rest of the way here. We're not torquing these, we're just doing finger tight, and it's gonna set up for a half hour, and then we'll torque it down to 30 inch-pounds.
Okay, those are finger tight. Like I said, I'm not torquing them down or anything, and not even torquing them down with my hand. So we'll let that set, and we'll come back out, and yeah, we'll take the spare tire off to drain the oil in, because we're gonna have to come up here with the oil, or drain the oil in, pour the oil in. We'll take the spare tire off to pour the oil in. All right, see you in an hour. So we waited about an hour for the gasket to set up while it's only finger tight. I've got my wrench here set to 30 foot-pounds, and what we're going to do is just torque all these bolts down. We'll kind of use a star pattern. As you see, I removed the spare tire. That's just going to help me dump the oil into the transmission, or into the differential a little bit better. So let's speed you up, and you can watch me do this. All right, so another hour's passed. Checking some of these squeeze out spots, and they're dry for the most part. The inner parts of them is kind of a little bit soggy, but it's holding up pretty well now, so I feel comfortable with adding fluid into this now. What we're gonna do is I've gone ahead and taken off the plastic or the paper part that's underneath the cap here, but I haven't cut them yet. I didn't cut them yet. I did this on top while I was up on the top of the truck, and I've got 3/4 of it, but I'm going to just start off with 2. But I wanted to see how this is going to go from down here. So it looks like I can get the majority of it in. If I have any problems, I can always just do the funnel and get the last little bits in. So we'll be good. Got my diagonal sidewall cutters here. What I'm just going to do is we're going to cut ourselves off. Good 1/2 inch to the top of this, and then we'll see how that goes. I did make a comment at the beginning about what it smelled like, and it smelled kind of like, you know, the smell when you get on a roller coaster, an old wooden roller coaster, you smell that grease smell. That's what it smelled like before. That's what this stuff here smells like too, so I'm not too awful worried about that. I am going to shake this up. The additive is already in the oil, but I just want to make sure that it's good to go, and that the additive and whatever anti-foaming agents that are in it get in there too and all mixed up. Check and see where we're at here. We're a good 1/2 inch down, so I'm gonna get that 3/4 cut in there. Yep, right at the top. Cool. So we'll take our sight gauge cap here, put her on home. And then over the next couple days, we'll monitor this. We'll keep a piece of cardboard or drip pan underneath here, make sure we don't get any leaks down here. I do have a small leak up here at the front end, but that's to be expected after this amount of time. That would be something I'd change out in another 100,000 miles. It's just more of an annoyance than anything, but that's it, guys. Yeah, thanks for coming along on this fun-filled journey, if you will.